I'm good. You want to put some on the table?
I'll be right back.
Jerky boys, jerky boys, jerky boys.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Way to get our hopes up.
Have a good show.
Later. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Door Bumper Clear. I am Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace, Dean Thompson, Gio Ruggiero this week. The final season episode. We have one more this year at some point, I think. But, Thomas, how are you today?
I'm ready to go.
You ready to go for this?
I don't know where we're going, but I'm ready to go.
Well,
Typical.
Yep. That is very, very typical. Tires all stayed on yesterday. Wheels all stayed on yesterday. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Made a clean race.
Yeah, Gibbs's grandson was the jack man, and he was very paying attention very much to...
very deliberate.
Yes, deliberately. Our stops were a little on the slow side, but there was no wheels falling off. On purpose.
How did your last race of the year went better than mine? So how'd it go for you guys?
Yeah. Besides me getting fumed out by your car in the pit stall, Jesus, it was dumping fuel out of the exhaust. My eyes were burning. But we finished on the lead lap, P30. I don't know what more you can expect of what we got going on, but yeah.
Karsyn, how was your weekend? Not ideal, I assume. You did come to Phoenix. I know that.
I made a 24-hour trip to Phoenix. Supposed to be longer, but we all know how that played out. So
How did it play out?
that's how.
I'm sure we will get into it here shortly. Joining us today, thank you. So I had my Regan bailed us out yesterday. Regan Smith, thank you for coming today. He bailed us out yesterday because TJ was supposed to come, and we kind of had this planned out where TJ was going to be here as long as one of the JRM cars won. And we kind of figured with the 75% chance that was a safe bet, so we didn't really have any backup plans. And then, of course, Jesse Love the whole show up on Saturday night and won the race. So, Regan, welcome back to Door Bumper Clear. I know you were here last year. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I just got to watch it from home and enjoy it. And, on Saturday, Sunday, obviously, truck race Friday night. And, that was a fun championship to be a part of and get to call and everything that took place. But glad to join you again here. You asked a couple times this year, and
yeah, you always said no.
Yeah, I said no. Oh, don't take it personally. It was Tommy. It wasn't you. It was always because of him.
What I mean, talk about that for a little bit. I mean, you used to have to deal with Tommy on a regular basis, driving his race car. Well, I know what it's like spotting for Tommy. What's it like driving for Tommy Baldwin?
Tommy was good to me. Like I feel like we got along good all year long, we had fun. It is a little different having Tommy in my ear again right now, and
not cursing.
It's not only not cursing, but it's bringing back some flashbacks. One real quick story. So halfway through that year when I drove for Tommy, my wife was pregnant, and we're getting ready to have our second child, and it was Chicagoland weekend. Actually, it was towards the end of the year, and basically decided, hey, I need to skip this race. As it turns out, Eliza, our daughter, is born halfway through the Chicago race. So I've got the race on the TV in the delivery room. I've got Megan screaming because she's giving birth and in the middle of labor. And then I had the scanners pulled up. And I've got Tommy screaming louder than Megan the entire time on the radio. And I'm like,
this is not true.
This
You're
is
so full of
perfect. I am not full of shit. When you got fired up, you got fired up.
Listen, I can promise you, I've been in there. I believe you. Was he driving the car for the Stenhouse story?
Yep.
Which one?
Did you wreck
Stenhouse took us out of Martinsville. And I told Regan, I said, you will not drive this car next week unless you wreck that mother.
So as he's telling me that, I'm already setting sail off into turn one as Tommy's screaming at me. I'm like, I got it, Tommy. Chill out, man.
I'm going to handle this myself. I got it. Talk about the race. We'll talk about the race you covered, the truck race. I mean, for the way it plays out, Corey's got the thing in the bag for 3/4 of the race.
Yep.
Then that caution comes out. Some guys come for tires. Corey doesn't. Kind of flips the script, puts the 34 in control, and then we see one of the most epic restarts probably in the history of the sport at the end of that thing.
And it's funny because obviously we'll get into what happened the rest of the weekend at some point, but as that's playing out and we're seeing how that's playing out in the moment, like how does Corey lose this? And it's like, oh my gosh, this is how he loses it. And with the season that he had, you just and the race that he had at Phoenix, you expect him to get it done. And that the caution comes out, and we're like, oh my gosh. And when they took 4, I was a little surprised because he was in the first pit stall, and the Truck Series the stops are a little bit slower. You got a little more time. I think the 98 he was all the way on the very backside of pit road, so more than enough time. 98 had already left his box when they stopped, and I'm like, oh man, they're going to call an audible and go with 2, no big deal. And they stuck with the 4, and I think in the moment you're almost like, oh, do you want to be that far back? And it wasn't a matter of, is the 4 tires going to work or not? If they get to the white flag and the caution comes out and he hasn't had that perfect turn 1 that he did, I think that's more the dilemma is if there's a wreck and the white flag's already out and you don't have enough time to get by them all, how's that going to play out? But it worked out great from that move into turn 1. I mean, I've had to have watched that 50 times now. And not only for everybody to line up the way that they did and get 6 wide, for him to make it 7 wide all the way against the wall on the bottom, but to also be able to complete that move and pull it off is awesome. And I in my mind I was flashing back in the moment to Sheldon Creed. He did that a few years ago, and I couldn't remember the year, so I didn't say it on TV because I'm like, oh, what year was it? And I couldn't get to our stats guy to make sure that I had it right. But very reminiscent of that. And, when you hear Scott Zipadelli talk about that was always going to be the decision, right? And made it with conviction. No matter what they did, that's what I'm going to do. That's what's going to win the race. I'm going to put it in his hands and let him go get it done. I just think that's what those guys have done all year long. Yeah. And the confidence they have in each other as a driver, crew chief, the belief they have in each other, that just played out in perfect form. And that race had everything. It had some good battles throughout it. It had moments where you thought maybe Ty was going to get up there and potentially take it. And it, when it was all said and done, you get a finish that we're going to be that clip's going to be shown for a long time to come. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't remember the last time I saw 7 wide at any racetrack. Even Daytona,
and they had room for 8 wide on the outside.
Yeah, they could have put a couple more.
And I'm going to tell you, Zipadelli needs to buy lunch for Brian Patty and Bruce Cook, because if those guys don't stay out and they're a little bit, there's tires up 100%. Front, it doesn't slow the field down that much going into 1. It doesn't allow them to fan out
to do
like
all
that.
those moves.
Yeah, so those guys staying out saved that 11 truck.
Bruce Cook.
He's an animal. I mean,
is one of my favorite people on the planet. What the are you trying to do to this butcher?
I know this poor kid is. It's his first truck. It was his first one and his second ever. And we're gonna leave you out.
I mean, and for me, the thing that was crazy in that scenario, and maybe they were hoping it played out differently, but you keep him out there for one. Like, I just think it's a really bad spot to put that kid in. But also, your team truck is in the Final 4. Like, what if you're the one that ends up costing? They could have a restart where he gets stuck behind Caden gets stuck behind him. When I saw him stay out, I was like, oh, you must be a lap down trying to wait. What's going on here? And then I look, I'm like, oh man. And then of course they get a truck wreck because of it. And talk about the 7 wide. Where like you've been on the spotter stand. I don't know have you been in the spotter stand there?
Yeah.
So like
it's tough.
I promise you, the bottom 3 guys never saw their truck until they came off a turn 2.
No.
Like Hirschman, I think it was Grant and maybe Raja. Like those 3 guys that were that far below the line, the spotters could not see them. I know Hirschman.
Eddie said he thought he was the bottom truck.
Yeah,
Raja.
Because you couldn't believe there's anybody lower. Yeah. And there was 2 of them down there. That's what I said. I talked to Hirschman about it. He does Corey, obviously. He said, I saw him bail off in there, and I didn't see him again until basically he was on the straightaway, because like the way that we're spotting from the center of turn 3 and 4, looking directly across the racetrack, and then with the pit wall, the inside wall is so high that, and the angle is a little weird because it's so flat, that like when they're running the yellow line, you're kind of looking at half the door. So if they're below the yellow line, you're looking at maybe a rooftop, and then below that is just you don't see anything. So I gave those guys credit because I'm like, you guys did. Everybody said they did a great job. I'm like, they did, but they were lying because they couldn't see their trucks.
If we're being honest, the whole thing made it 2 corners further than I thought it would make it before the yellow came out for the first time. But I think we got to commend the truck drivers for that also, right? That race. We didn't see any real malicious stuff. We saw some wrecks, right? Even Cole Butcher's wreck going into turn 3, it was just a scenario of you got a lot of guys at the end of the race funneling into a tight spot. You got one guy that's relatively inexperienced, but the way that it played out, across the board with everybody racing it straight up, and how many times in the past, and go back to Martinsville, same way. for the
Yeah.
truck series. How many times have it passed? Do we see it to where it just turns into this complete disaster of guys running into each other, dumping each other? And, you know, that was the one thing I took away more so than anything. Like, it played out on the track.
Yeah, and I mean, we were literally, 2 or 3 car lengths from Ty Majeski being the champion?
Oh, yeah.
You know, if that wreck happens, I don't know, a half a second later, you know, that
There's a little more than that, but yeah.
Majeski's across the line and the yellow comes out and it's over and he's a champion. So it's crazy the way those little things can affect a race, especially like you said, though. But everybody did it right. Obviously, that wreck was not anybody's fault. Like you said, it was just kind of everybody going for it. Jesse Love. I mean, I'm good. I'm happy for the kid. We're going to get more into the meat of it, but I mean, just executed perfectly all night. You know, second half of the race for sure.
Yeah, when they fired off like first stage, I was like, oh, we're good. Like because they were, they struggled the first stage. I was like, oh, we're good. We got this. No worries. And the next thing you know,
So it's your fault.
no, I didn't say it out loud. I just thought it. I just had the thought.
He said after practice he had a really good long run car.
On Friday, I was looking at lap times, and once they got to about 25 or 30 on tires, he was considerably better than them guys. You know, it's hard to judge practice because you don't know who's just out of pit road or whatnot. But when I was looking down trying to watch consistently, I'm like, the 2 is the best on a long run. Do we get a long run? Well, they'll run long enough for him to capitalize on that. And talking about doing it right, I think he did it right. You know, that one run, he ran Justin down, and it could have been very easy to just kind of put the bumper to him and move him.
Right.
And he did it the right way. He worked him over. I don't even know did he ever pass him. I think that's when we had the yellow and then he passed him.
I think he got by him maybe at the very end of it.
So, but I'm just like, he could have very easily been the guy that goes in there and just punts him out of the way and moves on. Because I mean, you're racing that guy for a championship. It's very easy to just say, I can't be patient. I got to go.
Well, Justin was doing a good job of doing what Justin's
them guys were
does
running
too. He was all,
them guys were running as low as I've ever seen anybody through 3 and 4. I mean, they were both probably half their cars on the apron. I thought that was something that I really hadn't seen there before.
Yeah, Justin did that. I want to say not last year, but the year before he did some of that. Because I remember thinking, was it 2 years ago he blew the tire at the end of the race, looked like he was going to win the championship also. And I remember thinking, when he got down on that apron, I hope it didn't damage the tire, and that's what blew. I think it was left rear that blew out that particular year. But Justin's been working that line a little bit. He knows that place.
Jesse and Luke were watching about a month ago at the shop. They were watching the Xfinity race and the truck race, recapping on some stuff. They're talking about some stuff, taking notes. And Jesse mentioned how important 3 and 4 was to be able to run that line. He said if you can run that line and stay still. If you're too tight, he says, I gotta put my car there to make it turn. So I think he probably worked that line as much as he could to keep the right side tires equal heat, you know, so they don't burn the right front or burn the right rear off. And Jesse's a smart kid, man. He's got a lot of, you know, he's young, but he's got a lot of experience. And I've seen his prep sheets. The kid works really, really hard. I mean, on what needs to be done and what happened in the past and what to look for and what to do. So, I mean, he did his homework. The pit crew was phenomenal that one stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
they got him to where it needed to get to, right? And
Would they gain that? That was like
6
5
spots,
or 6
right?
spots.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even think that they were in the
I thought they did too.
position to gain
Yeah.
that much.
I looked
know,
at the
yeah.
spot. I go, did you do 2? Like, no, that was 4. I was like, God bless.
Yeah.
Tommy, I know you're like a great grandfather to some of these kids. What's it like? What's it like watching them battle? I mean, you got Jesse. I know Jesse and Connor always are kind of with your sons a lot of the time. Like, what's it like for you just sitting there watching these guys go at it? Like, it's kind of like just kind of pulling you both directions. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
you don't know. I mean, you want them both to do well, right? I mean, they're all going on vacation with us. Cruzy, Love, Zilisch.
Not again.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're in December, so it's that's gonna be fun. Just to see how they look. Connor and Jesse, they're good friends, right? They're staying together last night in Phoenix and tonight. You know, I mean, they're all good, but it's gut wrenching for Connor, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse won the championship. I'm glad, but to have, lost the owners' championship, the drivers' championship. He had a chance to lose rookie of the year, and it's like the most dominant driver of the year, and he's going to leave Phoenix on Wednesday morning with pretty much nothing in his hand, you know, and that's gut wrenching for him.
Yeah, I think like the worst part for Connor too is like, you know, he's not running Xfinity, a full season Xfinity after this. So like that was his one opportunity to get a championship.
And that's what I told him yesterday. I said, look, I know you wanted to we all wanted to accomplish that leaving, right? You want to leave on that, but you got so many things to look forward to, right? You got your life really starts now, right? I mean, your professional career of what you're going to be doing starts now. So just stay focused and get ready, man, because you got a tough battle coming.
You know, the flip side of that also is for Connor, if used the right way, right, and channeled the right way, use that as motivation going into this offseason and use that going forward as even more motivation. As bad as it feels now and it's going to feel for the next week or two, maybe longer, use that as motivation every day that you wake up and you get ready, because you guys all know as well as I do that next step, it's a lot. Yeah. And it's going to be extremely difficult next year. Even as good as he is and as much talent as he has, there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, and it's going to take everything you got.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Stockman as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like we all kind of know that Stockman can make a car go really fast for one race anytime he wants to. So that was, and like you talked about in-race adjustments, they weren't great to start the race. I heard some crazy air pressure adjustments he made in the middle of that race that woke that thing up again, and they were right back to where they were Friday, I felt like. So shout out to Danny, good dude. He's kind of been around forever. He's been at RCR forever, it seems like. So that he deserved, glad he got his championship.
Was that his first one?
I don't know.
Should be. That was his second Xfinity, I believe. He won with Austin Dillon, and then he had a truck championship with Austin as well. Yeah. And when you talk about Danny and what he did during that race, not only the calls that he made, but the radio and what he was doing on the radio to keep Jesse focused and keep him in the game and tell him we're going to fix this, we're going to make it better. And it's as much as I know Carson's been grinding her teeth this whole segment right now and is pissed off about all this.
No.
Everything that went into them getting to that point in that one race was it was pretty fun to watch and hear it taking place. And think back to Martinsville, how bad they were there. Like, how do you rebound from that quick? Like, it's impressive.
Yep.
Daniel Dye and Justin Haley announced that they're running the Kaulig Ram trucks next year.
Yeah, it seems like a natural fit for Justin. Kind of a place that he kind of grew up a little bit, I would guess you could call it. Goes back home to Kaulig, where he kind of started his career. He started his career at, I think, GMS Truck, but really kind of found a home at Kaulig, Xfinity stuff, won some races there. Dye, I think this made a lot of sense. You know, his dad's kind of tied in with the Ram side of things. So that's now 3 or 4 trucks accounted for, essentially. Butterbean, those two, Gong Show. Is the Gong Show still happening? I think so, right?
Happening
It's
happening
happening
as we
like
speak.
right now.
right
yeah.
now.
Everybody's flying to the destination.
I think this, like from what I've been told, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be an interesting. And then I thought the 5th truck we've heard is an all-star truck, with different drivers.
I heard some pretty cool
names for
some
that
names
one.
might happen. I think you're going to see Justin in a Cup car too for
Yeah.
handful of races next year as well. So good for Justin. I mean, like I said, he's a good kid. He run. They battled yesterday too. They were I think right in front of us at one point in the race, and they ended up I think 15th. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
they were 14th to 15th. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I walked by him after this race. Him and his wife. I said, "See, you can still do this."
What was his wife's name?
Haley.
Oh, yeah. But they're both great people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was glad to see he landed on his feet, and he's going to be running something full time. 2025 charter agreement, Tom, comes out, $141,000 a race. What's it cost to run a race?
Depending on who you're with.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Between 400 and between 450 and 250 right now.
So 250 is at the bottom of so 141 into 250.
There's still a gap.
Does it exactly?
Something doesn't add up there.
Yeah.
The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, I don't have a calculator, but I
think I was trying to read some of those charts, and there's some of the numbers are just like just mind blowing.
Yeah.
But we'd have to spend an entire episode getting into that. But I just that number, I knew it didn't kind of factor into.
It's about to the lowest team. It's about a $5 million gap.
Loss.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, we could beat that to death. I'm here forever, I think.
Also, oh wait, sorry,
ahead, no,
were
you're
you about
good.
to go? I was going to say also, while when we were on the topic of trucks before that, did you see what Matt Crafton said after his race on Friday night?
Yeah, he didn't have a great race, so I think that kind of led to it. But I just think there's times and place. I know Luke's their truck wasn't great.
Terrible.
Their truck was terrible. Tommy, I went to find you. You left me. You came over. You were upset, obviously. And then did you go find a shot of tequila somewhere or something? I mean, I was like,
You did?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I went down to Flex's suite, sat down. It was like 10 to go. I said, give me a shot.
Tommy
please."
said,
It was, I felt bad for Luke because that's one of those places, Regan, like when you're not turning, it's almost, there's nothing you could do to help it there. It seems
Even
like.
when it is turning, it sometimes feels like there's nothing you can do to help it. And Luke's done good all year long. I think that from the start of the year, first race, Martinsville, I think it was, right? And it's like, oh my goodness. And so I don't think you can base one race on an entire year and body of work, and it just happens. That's part of motorsports.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I was most proud of him was he didn't get aggravated, right? He wasn't upset. He was giving good feedback still, trying the best he could, kept the truck in one piece.
You
right?
sure he's a Baldwin?
He's trying to be.
It's questionable.
As soon as he said didn't get aggravated, I'm like, wait a second, Tommy.
Yeah, that doesn't
Come on.
matter.
I
now.
reminded him before the race, like, look,
Yeah,
just
don't act like me.
do as I say, not as I do.
Let me be the That's what I tell all my kids. Let me be the asshole.
But Crafton's quote was, "You could put a monkey in these trucks, basically, in them, meaning the trucks, and they can drive them. It's pathetic what NASCAR has done to the truck series. Too much downforce, not enough motor." It sounds like sour grapes. I mean, I know it's his last full-time race. This trucks have been like this since he's been winning championships, right? I mean, I feel like this is what the truck series has kind of always been.
Yeah, and I'm not going to beat Matt up right now, and primarily because it is his last race, right? And he's probably frustrated. And we say last race with Thorsport. Who knows what's going to happen with him in the future? And I think he's made it clear that he's not done. But you get out of having a bad race like that, you're frustrated. You want to go out in your last run with your guys that you've been with for 23, 24 years, however long the time was.
Damn.
And you want to leave on a high note and leave with a good taste in your mouth. And when that doesn't happen, Matt's never minced words, right? He says what he's thinking, and I got no problem with that. Do I agree with that? Probably not. But it's heat of the battle. It's the emotion. You get out of the truck. I've said stuff I regret, right? We all have. Like that's just you're not a competitor if you don't have those feelings from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good people up there. I mean, look, the '98 had a chance to win the championship, right? So there's some chemistry up there, So hopefully all the pieces of the puzzle will come together there.
All right. Spot on, spot off. Goodyear brought too aggressive of a tire for the championship race.
Spot off.
Spot off. I agree.
Spot off, 100%.
It's not good. This is not a Goodyear problem. This
Nope.
was we've been asking for this. We want softer, softer, softer. And now everybody that had an issue was self-inflicted. Is that fair to say?
Very fair.
And this
And they admitted that before the race,
Yeah,
even. James
yeah,
Small
yeah.
admitted it on Friday.
Is that just from not taking care of the tire? Like
no,
what?
so it's low,
like why were they all blowing?
low tire pressure, low air pressure, and too much camber, I would assume, right? Probably more so pressure.
Yes, and you got limiter load too. The shocks do bottom out, so the car doesn't bottom out, and coming off of 4 and going through the tri-oval, the car is basically on the left rear limiter really hard, and I could see the left rear tires being an issue, but right rear was more air pressure, probably camber related. An issue there. So I think he had two different things, but I wish we would be able to. The only thing I wish we would be able to, and we had a chance this weekend in Phoenix because we had practice and we can change things. But a normal situation when we can't adjust camber, right? We show what we have and that's it. I think if they opened that up a little bit, and it's hard because they don't want us inside the wheel well doing anything, right? Because a lot of things can happen when we're in there.
It's weird.
But I'm surprised about the right rear air because I think some teams did try low and high in practice and really didn't feel much of a difference. Some of the teams must have felt that it was a necessity to be really low.
Right.
And these tires are low air pressure. I mean, low.
Low.
Yeah.
And it's so I don't know. Is there still a recommended pressure from Goodyear? Like, do they? There's. I mean, but
There's always been
I
record.
mean, that's what I'm saying. I like it. Like,
been
but there's no way to police this, right? There's no way to set a rule and say you got to run whatever 10 pounds. You know what? Like, there's just no way to police that, right? I mean, like I know people are like, why do you let them run so low? Why do you? There's no way to. I mean, there'd be a million ways to get around that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't run it. I mean, like we never have. I mean, we just, yes, that's nice. Thank you, Goodyear, for recommending. But we know the grip level with lower air is a lot better because so the tires build up to a certain amount of air, and they basically stop building up at some point. Well, you're trying to get that pressure to build up at a certain number where there's maximum grip of the tire. We get tire reports from Goodyear, and the manufacturers do their own tire reports, and there's an air pressure point, let's say 40 pounds. I'm just making up a number that we want to get to for maximum grip and maximum lateral load. So we need to be in that area. So we'll run practice. We'll monitor the how much the air builds, and then you might minus and plus a little bit during the race to get to that point. And then when the car is in the race, then you look at the air pressures. You look at the buildups from the right front to the right rear. Okay, if the right front built up another pound, then the right rear and the car's a little tight, then you'll shift like a half a pound or 0.4 to try to get that air pressure even. So there's things that go on during the race that we try to maximize the tires all day long, right? And, you know, the 19 had a problem in practice, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Two, I think.
Two in
of
the
them.
race. Two
in
in
the
the
race.
race and one in practice.
Yeah, I think 99 had
two in practice.
Two in practice. And so, I mean, right there is a...
Yeah. And it was obvious because
And
it
the
happened.
thing is, Freddie, the 11 didn't have any issues. So
Yeah.
you had a car to look at, right?
The 11 did have one that came in soft, a left rear,
Yeah.
but the caution had already come out,
Yeah.
and it came in. You know, they all had an issue throughout the course of the day.
Yeah.
It was just timing of it. But I don't know. I look at Goodyear as a whole this season.
A+,
and,
man.
Oh my gosh! Like as much as they've been beat up in the past, they did everything right this year.
Yeah.
And you know, but that's what you want. You want to have a tire that, hey, if we want to risk it, we can try, but that thing might blow out if we go, you know, if we get just a little bit off on it. That's what makes it fun. That's what allows guys to work, the crew chiefs, the engineers to work within a parameter and say, hey, where's it at? We're close that last run. Can we get another 10th? Well, guess what? You can't.
Yeah.
It's
And
going to blow out.
I'm telling you guys right now, if it was still the narrow tire, it'd be a whole different ball game. We would not be able to. We would be having so many more issues.
Right.
So you know, I've always said that the big tire has really helped us, you know, solve a lot of problems. It created more in the beginning, but now Goodyear gets it, right. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna be, you know, over the winter working with Goodyear, testing some more stuff to get even better as a whole. So yeah, I'm excited. I think Goodyear is really, I think by the teams just saying, look, it's on us. It's not Goodyear, right? And it was never really, I don't think it was really ever on Goodyear, right? Because we were always trying to max, back then with the small tires, like, we need to max our camber and low air pressure. Well, your recommended air pressure is 50. Well, we're going to go 42. I mean, you know, it's pow. Oh, well, that didn't work. Goodyear sucked. No. You were 8 pounds below recommended, and you probably had a half a degree more right front camber, you know? It's just,
And you look at years past, you know, we looked at all the storylines from this weekend, basically the 4-tire call versus the 2-tire call on Friday night, the 4-tire call versus in years past, the tires were so good that you were probably staying out, or maybe at the most putting 2 tires on. So that you never even had that worry. So they just, everything was better this time around, you know, with the tire, because the tires actually made a difference. I feel like years past, you would just, if you got clean air, nobody was going to get around you. It was gone.
And to be honest with you, I think the right side wear was a lot. we had a lot more right side wear because of the left side tire change. I think now they're probably, hopefully they can go back now after seeing all this, and the left sides need to be softer to help the right sides. It sounds weird, but it'll take away the energy of the right sides, of the wear if the left sides are softer, because now all 4 tires will be working a little bit more evenly.
Right.
So I think hopefully they can make another adjustment there, and I think the next Phoenix race is going to be pretty damn good as well.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming to Tommy's Tire Talks. Moving right along, Kyle Larson fails to lead a lap but wins the championship. Denny post-race also says, in this moment, I never want to race a car again. My fun meter is pegged. Spot on, spot off. Fred, do you want to talk about?
Spot on. I mean, Larson shined when the lights were the brightest, I think, right? I mean, that's what
Isn't that what they
said.
say?
Listen, this is what they wanted. This is what the format does. This is what.
I haven't talked to one person yet since that says that race wasn't absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like they,
The Cup race was. The Xfinity race was boring as
that's because you lost.
No, it really was, truthfully.
It's a phenomenal. I haven't used that in a while. I feel like a while, but phenomenal pick call by Cliff Daniels. I don't think
They don't have a choice.
I didn't think
that
I
was
loved,
an easy pick
Yeah,
call for
but
Cliff Daniels and the 19.
So the first one
but the 19
was
didn't do
easy.
it. I don't think the 19 put 4 on there.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Did they?
19. They were
Well, they
behind
should have
Denny.
put 2.
I was going to say that the first one was easy. That second one to me wasn't quite as cut and dry. Like, yeah, put 2 on it or don't put 2 on it. Just because you had done it once already.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks saying Gayle should have done 2. Obviously, in the hindsight, yes, he probably should have done 2. You mentioned earlier being able to see the 98 coming onto for the 11 and maybe abort. What I will say is normally that's kind of on the spotters, and I'm sure some of the war room people can do the same. But, we're looking, usually we're on the front straightaway. We're looking at the entirety of pit road, and we can see the guys in these late stalls. All right, and relay. All right, he put 2 on. This one put 2 on. This one put 2 on. Phoenix is a different story because we're in the middle of that corner, and you have no depth going down that back straightaway. Like if you're I don't know what the conversation was with Lambert. He might have told him or not, but Lambert wouldn't have known that he could have guessed maybe by how fast he got out of the box, but he would have not known for sure that the 5 put 2 tires on because you can't see his box from where we're standing. Now maybe somebody in the war room could say, hey, the 5 only did 2 if they're, I don't know what the kind of camera system they got is, but so I think that for Gayle, you just can't expect 6 guys, 5 of them that have no implications in the championship, to do 2 tires there because, are they just getting in there to disrupt things maybe? I don't know. But, you got 3 guys that you probably don't expect to stay out. Then you've got 6 guys that take 2. He just put 4 on and it worked out. He took the lead off of turn 2 essentially on the first lap. So you're thinking the same thing that Sippy was thinking. I got the best car. I'm going to fire 4 on it and let my guy go execute a restart like he just did and win the championship. So I don't even know that even if Lambert told him, these guys are coming on 2, he probably said, all right, I don't give a shit. Like, we're going to go beat them like we just did. So the people that are Monday morning quarterback and Gayle and going, you should have done 2, you should have done 2, maybe in hindsight, but I have no fault with the 4-tire call.
And that's, my takeaway from all of it, right? In the moment, you make the best decision with the information available to you in the moment. And whether that's 2, 4, or stay out, you make the best decision. And that's what the 11 team did, right? They said that we're going to put it in our driver's hands and let's let him go win it on 4 tires. We've seen it work there how many times in the past, and I guess even Friday night we saw it work on Friday night. Different vehicle, right? Truck versus this current generation Cup car. Maybe that affected it a little bit. Didn't appear the Cup cars could get as far to the bottom. Like when Denny fired off on those 4 tires, it just didn't look like there was ever a lane down there, the way the weight comes off of this car and where the grip level was going to be at. But he put it in his driver's hands, and I think in that moment, that's all you're thinking about. The only thing that I look back on, and again, we're looking back on this, so we're not beating anybody up by any means because none of us had to make that call sitting here right now, and I wouldn't want to make that call one way or another, whether it was to, 2 tires for Larson. I wouldn't want to be any of those guys in that moment. But the one thing about that championship race that always throws it for a curveball is you do have, what was there, probably 20 cars on the lead lap at the time, give or take a little bit. Mm-hmm. You've got basically, 16, 17 of those 20.
It was 31.
31. Okay, so even worse than what I was thinking. But 31 cars on the lead lap, and of the cars that are on the lead lap, basically 28 of them are there for one reason, to win the race. So you know there's going to be quite a few. If you see a couple stay out, you know there's probably going to be quite a few that also take 2 tires as well. And you know, they also had the number 1 pit stall, which is a huge advantage. You think, okay, we're going to save some positions that way as well, even if we, you know, take 4 tires. I'm of the mindset, I don't think they had enough time based on where Larson was pitting. Yeah, I mean, he was a ways down towards turn 3. They likely didn't have enough time to abort and try something different, even if they wanted to. Maybe they did, I don't know. Yeah. But the 4 tires were up on the wall immediately.
And I really wanted to say it was very stupid on the 6's part, 6 and 60 and 48 to stay
you
out.
Were. You were saying that.
I said I really wanted to say it. I said
us.
it. I said it in the group text. I said I said this is not a good idea. Brad almost wins the race. Should have won the race if he doesn't miss turn 3 on the last lap. So, you know, you can't really fault them guys either. But it's just, you know, this championship was won in the middle of 1 and 2 on that restart. Denny basically goes into 1 and 2 side by side with Larson. He's made it to the bottom. He's bottom of 3 wide. Just looked like he couldn't get inside of the 22. He kind of gets in his wake, gets up tight behind him. Larson has the benefit of having a teammate in front of him that's going to leave him a lane on the outside. No, there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But that's really, if there's somebody else in front of Larson and they keep Larson boxed in that 3rd row and Denny's, you know, 1 row back, maybe we have a different race there. But as soon as Larson cleared the 48 around the outside and had that 2 or 3 row buffer and Denny was kind of pinned in the bottom behind the 22, I think off of turn 2 the championship race was over in that moment.
Yeah, so there's more competitive cars in the Cup level than trucks or
100%.
maybe Xfinity. So it's a little bit different thought process of a crew chief, right, to thinking of all that. With Chris, what his thought process was, he had the best car, right, all day. By far he was 2-3 tenths.
Right.
I mean, the guy he run a 50 on lap, whatever number it was. I was like, holy and that was at the time 2 tenths faster than the second fastest lap of the race. His car was fast. But at that point, you're only racing 2 guys, right? That's the only ones you're supposed to be paying attention to, right? And you know the 5 is going to do something different. They have no choice, right?
Yeah, they can't race you straight up.
Right? And you know how fast your car is. And you know there's going to be some other guys going to do the same thing, taking a shot, because they got nothing to lose. So I think if you take two tires and you lose, you're an idiot, right?
Yeah.
You lose, you're an idiot. Yeah. You're dumb. Why did you do that? You should have took 4. Well, you didn't know if you would take 4, you're going to end up 9th and lose it anyway, right? I think clean air would have been king there, right? Because of the amount of competitiveness of the Cup program, right? Yeah, he should have took 2.
I mean, there's even an argument, as fast as that 11 was and as good as it fired off on restarts for 2 laps.
If he stays out, he wins.
Just keep the control of it. You know, if he stays out, Larson probably takes 4 tires. If he sees Denny stay out, he's like, well, I'll take 4.
I don't know if I don't know what they even had left, because they had one issue. They had to put an extra set on. So, but if the 11 stays out, think about it. Now there's 2 rows of old tires.
Yeah.
All right, so now that changes.
But you also don't know who's going to stay out.
You know, if you stay out,
everybody may come down pit road. If you know, like
but I think the 60 and the 6, they didn't have a. They were just throwing Hail Marys. They would have Hail Marys.
Let me ask you this, and I don't know how much. You know, there's probably 2 laps you got to, you know, after the yellow comes out before they open pit road. I would assume 1 lap to pick up the pace car, then they make a lap and then open it. You know, is it something you need to communicate organizationally, like, hey, we're the 11, we're taking 2, I need the 54 on 2, or staying out, I need the 35 on 2. You know, like that I don't think that's really any kind of manipulating. I think it's, you know, that's strategy-wise.
You're not even thinking it.
I know, but I'm just saying, is that something that people need to look at moving forward? You know, because it wasn't like, that's not what happened here. Like, I looked back last night because I was like, I wonder if the 5 stayed out and it was 6 Chevys that stayed out or took 2 with them to try to build a buffer. And because sometimes you're not even going to beat, like Denny could come in leading, guys are going to put 2 on and they're still going to end up behind him. You know,
they were too far back. Anyway.
So, but I looked and I think it was 3 Chevys and 3 Fords basically where they break down. So it was just happenstance. But like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, that's not a bad play. If I'm the 5 or the 11, like I'm putting 2 tires on, and I need every one of my manufacturers to do the same thing to try to build a buffer on the guy with 4. And it's just something that who knows? It probably could come into play. Probably has, I'm sure, at some point.
If it did, or if it ever does, I really hope that they don't say it on the radio. Maybe they just type it on their chats instead. Perhaps
they would obviously have to type that in the chat somewhere.
But another like piece of that onion to peel back. Also, Cliff said after the race he wanted to take 4, and his guys back, his engineers back in the war room, and his guys sitting on the box with him, they were saying 2. And I saw something posted, and I don't know what the percentages of this are, but it was like that maybe if Gibbs was looking at, and everybody's running all these programs, right, to try and predictability, that their program may have said that it was like a 0.2% chance that the 5 takes 2 tires again in that scenario. So there is so much happening so quick that you're digesting in the moment, and sometimes it's no different than a football coach having to just make a gut call in the moment of what you think is going to. There's still a human element that's got to be involved to all of it. It is much as we've gotten technical with all this stuff, and we've got all this stuff to help us out, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
It's the human call.
Yeah,
100%.
By the way, Kyle Larson's still pretty good. I mean, he's like, he's still, he's still a heck of a race. They battled back from a wave around in the middle of the race. You know what I mean? They got back up in there in a position of where he could put 2 on. Because like you talked about, if he pits from the wave around, if he doesn't make any progress and he pits from 30th, he's not even going to come out in front of Denny. He'll be on 2 and Denny's on 4 in front of him. So, like to him to battle through the field after that problem they had with the tire, it's just a team effort. Obviously, we talk about that all the time. And Kyle just did a great job on that restart, executed, benefited from having a teammate in front of him that was not going to race the out of him like maybe somebody else might have in that scenario. But, he executed exactly what he needed to do and won himself a championship.
He didn't, and on that restart, I didn't feel like he gave Bowman as a teammate much of an option or even put him in a spot to where he had to decide what to do. When he throttled up, I'm like, there's no way that car is going to stick. And it stuck, and he was outside of Bowman all the way. Now, what you do know in that moment is if the 3rd car on the bottom comes up into Bowman, Bowman's not coming to your door. You're not going to get, you're not going to get pinned in or hit by him. Bowman will wreck to the bottom if anything happens there because he's going to protect from that standpoint. Not protect's probably the wrong word, but just knowing the circumstances. But like when he was in the middle of 1 and 2, he wasn't anywhere close to being there, and you just see him surge for the gas pedal. But that goes back to the previous 2-tire stop. They did 2 tires the previous stop, and he learned something there. He said, I picked up something on that restart that helped me out in the next restart. And it just, there's so many ways to look at this stuff. It's unbelievable.
Like if that's Bubba in that scenario, Bubba's in the 48 car, and I'm spotting for him into that. I am telling him everything. You cannot let the 5 to your right rear in 1 and 2. Like you're gonna drive in there so that he can't do that. And obviously that's not going to happen in that scenario that we saw yesterday. He's not going to do anything to prevent the 5 from winning
getting
that
to the right rear.
Yeah. So it's not. And Alex did nothing wrong. I don't think there's any manipulation of any sort there.
They're gonna be starting rumors.
I think that that's what listen. This is what the sport is. Like you put people in position, and they should be able to help you in that position. Like it's what the sport is. It's beneficial to that company as a whole to have Bowman in that position, so Bowman cannot do something stupid and wipe the 5 out while he's racing for a championship. That's the way the sport works.
I don't think anyone would want the responsibility of wrecking. I don't think the whole field
I was really impressed yesterday at one point with Blaney. There was a run with, I think the 24 was leading, 12 was second, and the 11 was third, and the 11 ran Blaney down, and you could very easily see that those 3 guys were so even that it was really, really hard to pass. And it looked to me like Blaney just let the 11 go to see if he could, let them guys race it out for a championship. Obviously, hindsight, it works out for Ryan. He wins the race, which, by the way, shout out. I don't think we've mentioned that Ryan won the damn race yesterday.
He's not even on the list.
He's one
producer.
It is.
Oh, there it is.
You just don't have your glasses on.
Oh, yeah.
It's he wins the race. Congrats to him. He's damn 1 spot short of his second championship at Martinsville. But the way he ran that race yesterday, he said it. Like I'm not going to be the guy that was going to be the one that cost somebody the championship. I'm going to obviously try to win the race for my team, but he sees the 11 coming. I think he just said, all right, I'm going to let these guys race it out. And maybe it's beneficial to him if they get together or something like that. But I think you've seen a lot of that yesterday. And everybody complains about you see the top four in the top four a lot of times. It's basically because nobody really races. Like they kind of those guys catch people. They let them go.
They deserve it.
They've earned the right to not get raced to death in that moment.
And with Ryan doing those things yesterday, it only helps him, right? And that's why you see Ryan pass so many cars during the race because there's so much respect because they know that when they're in that position, Ryan's going to do the same thing, right? You know who you're racing against, right? And it's an A+ dude right there, right? I mean, to know and have the respect for those guys to do that. He could have got around the 24 2, 3, 4 times getting into 3, and you can see him he would just lob it in there and get to his bumper and just stop. I mean, he could have probably throttled up and got around him, but he just
does it the right way. He always does. I mean, he gets for it because, like, people say you should be more aggressive. But like Tommy said, if you're not more aggressive, you don't make any enemies.
Right.
You don't get raced to death when you're coming through the field.
Pick and choose the aggressiveness, right? And that's. It's a body of work over. It's not just 1 year. It's over multiple years.
It starts in the beginning of your career, man.
100%. Yeah. And the only thing I would disagree, I think we see Ryan Blaney pass a lot of guys because he's just that damn fast and he's that good in traffic.
He does, but you can make it more miserable for the guy.
Yeah.
Right. You see people that can make people's lives miserable.
Right.
So
I see it every week.
Yeah.
Steve O'Donnell hints that this was the last race under the current playoff format. Can I get a spot on?
You want to just handle this one?
No, I really honestly didn't have that strong of an opinion on it until it personally affected me. Until it personally affected me. Now I'm pissed.
Well, you get a bonus?
No, I just wanted to win.
She wanted to hang out in Scottsdale for a couple more days.
A couple more days and 90 degrees as opposed to 60, right?
Yeah.
What about would have Kyle won anyway?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, he would have won by 14 points, but again, you're not racing to that format yesterday, so the 24 would have been second. Does the 24 risk anything with air pressure? Maybe.
See that how he was leading going in.
He was leading going in. So maybe they don't try. Maybe they race their race differently. Protect their car a little more if they got a bigger cushion. So you can't really. Yes, he would have won the season long, but
who would have won the old Winston Cup championship?
Last I looked, Bell was leading, but I don't even know.
I think Bell.
I think it was
seen
Christopher
something
Bell.
that said it would have been with the old
Which
format.
Bell, which I didn't realize this. I saw the stat last week leading into this week. Bell, you see Bell's average finish in the playoffs was like 7 and didn't make it because he didn't win it. Like he was 7 and the next guy was like 10. But obviously just didn't win races. So, but listen, I think this is a no-brainer. It has to change. This weekend proves it more than any because I think you got everything you wanted out of this format this weekend, and you're just going to see nothing but negative comments from it. Corey saved them from nothing but negative comments because Corey's restart on Friday. If he doesn't win that championship, social media is burning the world down. If Corey loses, Zilisch loses, and then you have what we had happen yesterday, it's not going to go well. So you got everything you wanted out of this system, and people are still not happy. It has to change, right?
We'll see this show next year how many people are happy.
I guess that's, I'm not saying this format's perfect by any means, and I'm not saying it's the right way to do it and determine who the true champion is in terms of body of work for the whole year. But I also have been around, and you guys have been around as long as I have. Time, you've been around a lot longer than me.
A lot.
Long enough to remember how we got to this also. And I feel like we're just doing these gigantic circles right now. And now all of a sudden we're going to go back the other direction on it. And, I don't know. Had some of these championships been decided at a track other than Phoenix, where, there was one team obviously that had a decided advantage there for a number of years, or for the past couple of years, I should say, had they been decided elsewhere, are we having this conversation, right? Do we have different champions throughout? I don't know. I don't know what's right or wrong because so what do you go to now? What do you go to? What's the next one? Because I do believe the playoffs. I like the playoffs. No matter what, we need to have 10 races at the end of the year. It kind of gives a team that maybe has a problem at the start of the year the opportunity to dig out of the hole and still show up for those 10 races and be good? Is it, is it the original format? Is it the last 3 races? Well, you do the last 3 races. Guess what? You still got Talladega mixed in the middle of that. If you look at the schedule next year, you got Martinsville and Homestead.
Yeah.
So is that going to fix it? Are you going to get what you want out of that? I don't know. Like it just, I'm torn on all
What are we
this.
trying to get?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to
I
figure
think you're
out.
trying to get away from a single race champion. I think everybody here at the table agrees that the single race champion to me, and like I think yesterday, you're never gonna make everybody happy, because it's a perfect example of, you can't be mad that Jesse Love won and mad that Denny lost, because they're the same scenario. That neither one of them would have won any format, the regular, I shouldn't say any, the full season format. Jesse was 200 points behind Connor. Denny was like 90 behind whoever was leading. So, they've just brought 2 really fast race cars. They both deserve but you can't be mad that Jesse brought a really fast race car and won that race, and then be upset that Denny brought a really fast race car and didn't win. Because that's what this format was. So this is the idea that we're going to find this perfect system, make everybody happy, is crazy, because you have 2 of the same scenarios back-to-back days, and everybody's mad about it.
just like I said, we'll talk about it this time next year and see how everybody feels.
I had a question to Regan's point. Like, so you say you feel like we're going in circles with, like, what are we going to do? What do we do next? Like, what was the sentiment? And like, you guys can probably all answer this. Like, when this playoff format came to be, like, what was the sentiment then, and like, where do you feel like the shift was? Like, when all of a sudden everybody's up in arms about it. Like, it hasn't always been that way, has it?
I mean, I think when this one, what was this? It would have been
14 is when it started.
14
was
with
my first year.
Was it Harvick that won it the first year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the one thing I don't remember is how we made the shift from the previous format to this format with the, the game 7 moment, if you want to call it that or whatever. But I mean, I felt like people were excited about it initially. I feel like the drivers were excited about it, and that there was kind of a good vibe around it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, you probably remember it better than I do back then. I was running Xfinity back then, so
I have no recollection of that.
I don't remember.
I mean, I don't even know when it.
I feel like it was probably split, and this as well as anybody. Every driver wants what's best for them. You know what I mean? So like, there was guys like Harvick. There was guy in that moment, like probably Jeff, that probably wanted a full season. The guys that were probably in the top 5 in points every year probably wanted a full season long format like we had, or the 10 race chase, whatever it was at the time. And then there's guys that probably were like the top 10 in points that were like, to give me a chance I just got to get there. And then Ryan Newman was a perfect example. Like, Newman really never contended for a championship, but then the one year, the 31 car, he boots Larson out of the way at Phoenix. I think it was Larson, and then he's
almost wins Homestead.
He almost wins Homestead.
Yeah.
That never happens in a 10 or 36 race format. So there was guys that they were probably happy about it then. But I thought Greg Irwin, we obviously fly back last night. We stopped for fuel, and Greg's obviously, everybody at Toyota's pretty upset about the way the race played out. And Greg, I thought, made a great point. He's like, we're doing this stuff. We want to act like stick and ball sports. We want to have game 7 moments. He says, when have you ever seen a Super Bowl where they got a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter and we just go, it, we're going to go to overtime. Now next score wins. Or, you're up 10-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs, and they go, never mind. Let's go to the 10th and see who can win in 1 inning. So, we want to be like these sports, but in no other sport, we just re-rack the whole thing. Somebody is clear. Denny is going to clearly driving away to a championship with whatever it was, 3 to 4 to go. And, Byron blows a tire. Nobody did anything wrong. He has a problem. He hits the wall. And now you just took your entire season and boiled it into 1 pick call and 1 restart for the championship. And I think that's what everybody hates when it comes down to something like that.
Well, hopefully next year we're at that same point where there's 4 guys within 10 points, right? Because hopefully the championship is between a certain amount of guys, but by points.
Right.
And what are going to hopefully be separated by 8-10 points, and then the same play out
I think
happens, right? But the guy with the most points has the most advantage at that time, right? So I don't know.
I think what everybody's screaming for is just a larger body of work for the champion. And I think the rumors around the garage this week was it's kind of leaning towards the 10 race chase that we started with, and God knows what year that was. I don't remember.
That was 04.
Yeah, so that's 20 years ago, 25,
Oh,
24
right?
years ago.
Kurt,
Yeah.
I know Kurt won the first one, and it was right after
I
Matt.
think that is, listen, I said it on here before, I would be really surprised if we ever went back to a full season format. I think if people keep screaming about it, we might, because it's definitely gained momentum in the last 3-4 months. But I think that 10 race chase is a good compromise. Because to your point, Regan, there's guys that have, Ryan Blaney had 7 or 8 DNFs in the middle of the year. That a lot of them were out of his control, and now he's been one of the best cars all year. He's got no shot at the championship in August because he's had mechanical issues, which
that happens to the Mets. That happens to the Mets
every year.
Yeah.
But,
They're in first place, then all of a sudden they go 0-12 the month of June.
You don't sound bitter at all about that.
I think the 10 race chase, if that's what happens, is a very fair compromise to the people that want a 36 race format. I know you're going to scream at me and they all hate me, but while you're screaming at me, get rid of the green white checkers. I've said that on here for years. You get rid of the green white checker, you got the guy that deserves to win the championship wins the championship yesterday. I feel like nothing good has come from these green white checkers except for wrecks on restarts and stupid happening all the time.
Well, this next topic can
All right,
probably
Fred.
let you talk about it some
I mean,
more.
you guys can go at it if you want about that, but I just
Okay.
No, we'll let you have that one. Connor Zilisch fails to win the Xfinity Series championship after winning 10 races and recording 17 straight top 5 finishes at one point this season.
Do you want to continue, Freddie?
Yeah, that's why I said it. Next point.
for me, unfortunately, it's spot on.
Yeah.
This is the format we race under. They brought a good car. Connor did a good job. It was not good enough on this night. That's the format we all race to. That's unfortunately, I think Justin was better than Connor in speed wise, and then Jesse at the end of the race was better than all of them. So they had a phenomenal year. They just could not. They weren't good enough on this night to win the race. I mean, he ran third. It wasn't like he had a terrible night.
He
It's
led
just-
some laps. And,
Yeah, I mean, he was they but this was not good enough, right?
I always look at it right now as everybody knew what they signed up for at Daytona. Everybody knew the rules at Daytona, and if Connor goes out and wins one race all year long, but then gets the championship, then we're having the same conversation today either way, right? And it's these are the rules, and you can base your season around it. Somebody can literally base their season around just getting to Phoenix. You still got to get there. You still got to make it to Phoenix, and then saying, hey, we worked on Phoenix for 6 months out of the year, but we did get there, and it was tough to get there, but we slipped our way into it, and guess what? We've worked on this car for that long. But that was the rules, and whatever the rules are next year, I'll feel the same way. Is okay. That's what the rules are. What's the best path to a championship? Is it to how do you get to Phoenix, and how do you win it at Phoenix? And if it's 3 races, 4 races, whatever, I don't really sit here and care. I'm not a fan of the season long points. I like the playoffs still. So
Yeah, some form of the playoffs. I mean, and Tommy, listen, these kids, so I know it's hard for you to kind of be. Connor is the most complete prospect I think I've seen since I've been heavily involved in the last 25 years of the sport. Larson was maybe the most raw talented guy when he came in, but it took time for him to get to where he's at. Connor's out there winning whatever it was, 10, 11 races this year. He's obviously going to struggle when he gets there next year. He's not going to go out and win 10 cup races by any means. Hopefully he can be.
Well, he might.
He might. I mean,
Sure, be cool if he did.
We thought he might have struggled a little bit this year, and it didn't happen.
It's hard to count him out of anything, honestly. But I think he'll be in position to win races next year. Road courses especially. But he'll be in position to win races. But I just hate the fact. I texted him on Saturday night, and I said, don't hang your head. I said, tonight shouldn't define your season. Unfortunately, with this stupid format, it does. I said, but like you said earlier, just everything's ahead of you. Take this, like you said, also, Regan, it's motivational. Just take this and let it, grab the bull by the horns and just ride this roller coaster into the next year, because I hate to say this because I love Jesse too. In a month, nobody's going to even remember that Jesse won this championship. It's all you're going to talk about from this season is Connor. Is the season he had. It's a historic season. When that's going to be all the trivia questions is how many races did Connor win? And maybe the trivia question is going to be who won the championship that year, and it's probably going to be like a trick question because everybody's going to assume it was Connor. So I feel bad because Jesse did everything he could and he deserves this championship. You're not taking anything away from that. But when you think about this season, the first person you're going to think about is Connor Zilisch.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I think he's going to have to throw so many things out the window because the cup cars are so different.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's probably why he's the most upset in his mind. It's like, man, I gave it my all, right? I mean, I had really fast cars all year long. I won a lot of races. Won a race that I wasn't even in, right? I wasn't even driving, and I won the damn race. I mean, so, but it's a whole, like you said, man, it's a whole different world now he's getting into, and I'm excited for him to see how he progresses, for sure.
NASCAR increases the number of races Cup drivers can compete in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and Truck Series. That's going to be hard to get used to saying. Yeah. So it's a max 10 per season in O'Reilly Auto Parts and a max of 8 in trucks. Spot on, spot off. Anybody?
Regan, I mean, this was something. I went back and looked at some of your stats from when you raced the Xfinity Series.
I'd have won a lot more races.
That's what I was getting ready to say. But did it help you racing against? Because I went back, your last win, you second and third was Denny and Kyle at I think it was Dover, right?
Yep.
But then I went back and looked, and you had 11 top 5s that season, and then I looked at some of the top 3s and 4s, and it was Brad, Denny, Kyle. Who at Blaney, I think was in the 22 car, was really good that year with a different mix of drivers. I think you probably would have had 2 wins that year. You probably would have been closer to 6 or 7, I think, if there's no Cup guys in those races. So
and that's why this is spot on for me. Iron sharpens iron, right? And if you let these Cup guys run more of these races, we're truly going to see what the talent level is and who has got it, if you will. And like we're watching Connor and Corey, and we know anybody that's watched a race car and watched a driver knows that they've both got it. But then you get back through the pack a little ways further, and you maybe question it a little bit, like, well, is this guy good enough to move up and make it at some point or another? So I think it's great. And do we need to go back to the era of Cup guys running a full season in O'Reilly Auto Parts Series? I got it right, or I think I did.
You're gonna have to get used to it big time for TV.
I don't have to like O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, I guess you don't. Yeah,
I'll be safe for a while.
Never mind, you're good.
But I do like having the opportunity for more Cup guys to be out there more frequently. I think it's just gonna make everybody better, and we're gonna see the talent quicker, and they're going to be able to gauge themselves, off of what's going to make me ready to go Cup racing, and what's going to teach me how the Cup guys race a little bit differently than the Xfinity guys, and I'm all for it.
Tommy, I think we've talked about it here before, but let's just rehash it. Luke, we're hoping he can end up maybe in a truck next year somewhere. Having those guys on the racetrack with Luke is only going to make him better, no?
Absolutely. He deals with it on a smart tour with Newman. Yeah. I mean, the he learns racing around Newman and what goes on. I mean, it has been beneficial to him the last couple of years, racing against somebody like that. And I want to see Luke drive against the best race car drivers in the world to see how well he's going to do. So I have no problems with that.
Yeah, I think, and I almost think we're fixing a problem that we don't have. I don't know how many guys really want to do it. You talked about there's not a lot of crossover. Yeah. There's not a lot you're going to learn on Saturday that you can bring over to Sunday. I think there's guys like Ross. I think Ross would race as much as you let him. I feel like he's the one now. He's kind of picked up that mantle from Kyle, where you see him out there more. And Kyle, I think, would have done it if he had his own team still. Maybe he runs more truck races. But I don't know that we needed a fix. But I like the idea of the. I do want a handful of races, at least the playoffs or whatever format we run next year, where it's just the Xfinity guys, because I think they also have to be able to make a name for themselves. If this is back in 2015, Connor Zilisch probably doesn't have a 10, 11 win season. He probably has a 4 or 5 win season. Maybe.
Still a great year,
but it's not a record-breaking season, because he's probably getting wins stolen from Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin or Brad Keselowski, whoever was out there at the time. So. I'm kind of 50-50, because I love the fact that these kids get to make names for themselves. But I go back to talking to Jesse before after his start at Bristol, and he's running top 3 or 4 in every Xfinity race he's run at that point. And I'm like, what were your expectations going to Bristol? He's like, I thought I was going to go run top 10. He's like, I don't know, I'm really good at Bristol. And he goes, I struggled to run top 30. He's like, it was just such an eye-opening moment to like, holy shit, everybody up here is really, really good, and I mean, he's in decent equipment, solid equipment, but it's like, so I think they need to race against these guys more often so that they know,
Right.
okay, this is where I need to be, really.
The main thing is, what does it take away from the series if you have 2 or 3 more Cup guys in each race for the first 20 races of the year? What does it take away?
Yeah, I think, and we went to this rule
Nothing.
because
Nothing. Yeah.
nobody was winning. There was like Allgaier would pop one win off, or you would pop, like at that time, because it was the Cup guys were basically running 2 full-time schedules. They were running full-time Cup and full-time Xfinity, and there's a Cup guy winning every race. And then like, yourself or Justin or somebody would pop off, and there'd be like a big star. Oh, I know, O'Reilly
they
regular.
felt damn good when you did it too. I mean, let's just be honest.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you beat those guys at Dover, like that makes that win that much more important to you. Right?
100%. I mean, yeah, it just you remember those, right? I can go through all which all my Xfinity wins were here at JRM, and I can go through every single one of them and say, okay, this Cup guy was in the field. This is who we passed for the win. This is who we beat at this track. This is who we beat at this one. And you remember them. Now, I partially remember them because I still had single-digit wins, so it's easier to remember them all that way. But a win's a win, right? And it just I like the Cup guys being out there. I think it's going to make the Xfinity or the I just did it. The O'Reilly drivers better. It's going to make the Craftsman truck drivers better. And what do you lose? If anything, you might lose 1 or 2 vehicles at the back of the field that don't show up on a given weekend because they might not be able to make a race if there's too many cars or trucks there that we're likely going to be 10 laps down anyways. Yeah. And I don't mean that negatively towards those guys, but I don't know that you're making the series better.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot of Cup drivers doing. I think you're going to see the same ones.
Yeah, Ross, SVG on the road courses, like.
But let them, the ones that want to do it, let them do it.
Yeah.
Husqvarna is going to do a lot.
Yeah.
So he'll be in the truck series, I think, a lot next year. But I think the season is set with the teams already before this come out, and I think you'll see the normal guys.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Hey, it's Dale Jr., and for the latest DBC gear, we need you to go to shop.dirtymomedia.com. We've got plenty of options, and we're adding new stuff all the time. Shop.dirtymomedia.com.
Time for Reaction Theater. I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of thoughts on
A lot of toasters.
this weekend's race.
Now NASCAR is posted on Facebook talking about love conquers all. You. Never has a man named Love filled me with so much hate in my life.
Jesus.
Aw,
Poor kid didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, he just won a race in a championship.
Yeah.
Everyone's beating him up.
That is one thing that sucks about the way that this did play out is I feel like Jesse's getting on way more
For
than,
no reason.
Like,
For no-
exactly.
for
like,
conquering. He did conquer.
He did what
he did what he had. Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do with the rules that were in place. Like there's no reason to hate on Jesse.
I mean, he's basically shut the shop down today. We're in. There ain't one employee in there.
Hey, the trophy's still sitting on his mantle too, and guess what? The check's going to cash the same way for
Exactly.
Jesse. So Jesse, when he goes to the bank's probably like, okay,
The big
whatever.
check is the 19.
Well,
the
true,
big check.
true. Yeah.
which we should have won that, but anyways.
Goodness gracious.
You're lucky you won the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, thank God we got left there with something.
Come on, baby. KFB, Kyle Busch, top 5 to end the year.
Yeah.
Son, if you got you a girl, hey, that's good enough.
It
They want
is.
to win, but son, you gonna get you some tonight. Come on, Kyle Busch.
We're gonna
Let's
say,
open it up. Let's open it up.
Yeah,
Let's
off-season's
tell
fair
all
game.
Kyle Busch fans it's game on.
Top
Top
five.
5, we're giving it to you. Next year reset,
Hey,
though.
yeah.
He's got to win.
It's an early Christmas present from DBC.
Yeah. I think Kyle will agree. He don't want his fans to go dry all winter long.
I know everyone's saying the format. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely the format. But, man, one of my best memories growing up was seeing my granddad cry the day that Dale finally won the 598. And the fact that we're robbed of that moment with Denny finally getting his championship today because we got a tire blowout caution at 3 laps to go. Man, fuck the format, the overtime rule.
Is that you, Freddie?
That was me. I disguised my voice.
Did you have a fuel stop in Oklahoma and called that one in, or what?
I called that one in from
Did you
the
get
plane.
the popcorn? Did you get the popcorn?
I don't know. I don't ever.
In
I'm not a
Oklahoma?
big popcorn guy. Believe it or not,
I got a popcorn machine.
You'd find it hard to believe I don't eat much, but listen, I've been saying that for years on here, and everybody hates it, but I hate overtime. Like I feel like nothing good comes from it. But yeah, I mean, I think Denny would be the first to agree, and I didn't really watch many of his interviews because it's hard to watch. But you know, that's what this sport is. It happens sometimes, unfortunately. You know, I was really careful this year not to say anybody deserves to win a championship because none of these guys deserve it more than the other ones. You know, Denny was in position to win for sure, but unfortunately, that's just not the way it played out this time.
I thought so. I did get to watch all the post race and everything like that, and different clips and highlights. And man, the way that he handled it, I don't know. I could have handled it like he did.
Yeah,
I mean, he handled every bit of it with class. And I mean, hell, the guy was in tears before he got in the car. Right? You can only imagine what somebody's thinking after you're 40 seconds away from the championship, literally 40 seconds away. And now all of a sudden the emotional swing that you go through in a 5-minute range by the end of the race, I think we could all sit here and say this is what we would do, and yeah, we would handle it this way or that way. And for Denny to process it that quick, to walk over to the pit box, give his crew a hug, and do everything he did there. I mean, heck, his kids are there, and I mean, it was gut wrenching. You're watching it, and you're like, man, I you could feel all that, and I'm watching it strictly not caring who wins. I don't want to say it that way, but there was a part of me that's like, listen, 60 wins, the body of work through his career, just everything around Denny right now. Yeah, that's gonna be cool if he can get it, and it'd be great because then there's not that question of the best driver to not get a championship. You just don't ever have to answer it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, this thing's done, and I'm waiting for that celebration, and then boom, you're not, and like, God, you feel for him. That's all you can say.
I should save it for show, but it's really not that big a show. But I was obviously done out of the race at this point, so I had my headset off, and I could hear either, I don't know if it was the track announcers or the MRN broadcast over the track PA, but we need to do a better job of getting the fans in the building informed because they're like, disastrous pit stop for the 11. They've lost all these spots. And I'm like, it wasn't a bad pit stop. They're the first one on 4 tires. They're like, yes, they lost 6 spots, but like, you're making it sound like the pick crew did something wrong or so, and it's like, I feel bad. You hear, of course, people are cheering because everybody can get on Denny's all the time. But, it's just in that moment, like, we need to do a better job of being informed and informing the people that are watching our product because it wasn't a bad pit stop. It was a fine pit stop. They came off pit road first guy on their strategy. It's just, there was 7 other guys that were in a different strategy.
Well, when the pit stops are 8 seconds long, it's tough to figure out if it was good or bad anymore. I can vouch for that.
I, for one, am happy that Jesse Love won the Xfinity title. If Connor wins it, who knows what kind of destruction he might cause.
That's true. That would be dangerous if he won. He'd be. God only knows. I was worried. The sword was the thing that I was worried about the most this year. If he would have won Bristol, if we would have gave him a sword, that would have been really dangerous for all of us.
He's not the most athletic person.
No, he is.
Thank God he can drive a race car.
See what he does in a race car. He doesn't have to be athletic.
What a kid.
Ryan Blaney won a race, and we didn't even get a post-race interview. I mean, what the hell are we doing? Not even hey, Ryan Blaney won this race. I didn't even know he won. I had to look at the leaderboard. What the hell?
I did find it interesting, and I can't imagine what it's like for Lee in that moment, calling the finish of the race because you got so much going on but he basically ignored the winner of the race.
Yeah.
He was calling the battle between the 5 and the 11, and you really in real time can't call both, I guess, or it'd be very, very difficult. But I thought it was interesting going back and watching the finish where he's really just, and he's off of 4. It's Larson, as Blaney's driving by Brad.
Yeah, like it was an exciting finish. It was an exciting finish otherwise,
incredible.
And it just got glazed over. But I understand how that could probably be very difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I, in that moment, I'm not going to speak for Lee. Obviously, you're trying to call the champion as it's coming across the line, and most of the time as the champion's going across the line, it's because they won the race. And by the way, we've got this crazy battle. Like, it looked like Brad has this thing wrapped up, and boom, there he goes through 3 and 4 or whatever happened. I don't know what happened to him, and I haven't seen anything. I just saw that he was up the track a little ways, and Blaney on 2 tires was like,
I think he wishes he had 3 and 4 back Brad because he said, the 5's up his ass down the backstretch. The 12 is offset to the left a little bit. He's clear in the 3. And I think he just was expecting a a shot from one of them to move him out of the way to try to open up a lane for themselves. So I think he just kind of cooked it into 3 and just got loose. Blaney did a really good job of not chasing him in there, kind of backed his entry up a little bit to where he can throttle up and be, as Brad's sliding, he's going by him and has the momentum to the line. But I thought, obviously I think Brad would probably love to have that entry to 3 back right now.
All right, last one.
Karsyn.
This is Tyler.
Hey, girl. See, I was going to shoot my shot this song, but then I remembered your snake story, and that's a red flag, because your boy needs a woman that can handle a snake. Because I'm terrified of them, too. Whenever I take a step back, reaction theater falls to shambles. What we gonna do about that? Set up a vigil, I'll bring the candles. Now you know when I rap, I bring more rhymes than you can handle. Tommy's like, what the that? This isn't music, change the channel. Reaction theater is dead again. I guess I came back to revive it. You fiend in my lines, well I'm the dealer, homie, you know I supply it. Some people be crying whenever I spit, they wishing that I would stay quiet. But I'm catching a dub on every track, man, you should call me Wyatt. Been leaving you all so blue in the balls, you're feeling like Rowdy Nation. And like a bad doctor, guess I can't blame you for quickly losing your patience. Always asking what happened to Tyler, come on homie, let's face it. I'm the only one on this segment that's ever bringing real entertainment. Don't at me dog, get at me dog, put it down for DBC. My middle name just might be James, don't ever TJ me. Y'all know the truth, I know my roots, the proof is MP3. I keep it 100, I'm here when you want, I won't run to the DJD. Nah, pretty minor league move for some dude named Majors, just saying. Anyway, man, I miss doing this for y'all. I'll get you a recap song for the Christmas one. I'm just too pissed about Denny to make it tonight. And TJ, I'm just playing, bro. You know I love you too.
All right, that's a way to finish.
I like that.
Yeah. Tyler is unbelievably talented, and he did that for 1 year. He did it every week, or maybe like 3/4 of the year. He did that every Sunday night, and we'd have it Monday morning for each race. It was, but yeah, you could tell right there.
We need him back.
He said he's going to make one for a season recap for the Christmas show whenever we do that. So I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, we need him as much time as he's got on his hands to do it. He does. He is the most entertaining from Reaction Theater over the years, I think.
Love that. Well, to leave an audio message 24/7, you can call our number at 704-802-9572, and we'll play the best ones each week on the show. Ask DBC questions fun this week. It's for everybody. What are you guys most looking forward to going into the off season, personally and NASCAR related?
NASCAR related, I'm just looking. I'm glad it started. I'm glad the off season has begun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long stretch to end the year there. That was whatever it was, 28 weeks in a row of racing. That's probably the longest one I think we've done in a while, or at least I have anyway. Which it wasn't hard because I don't do anything during the week. But yeah, last week I only did. I got cut short a couple times. But I mean, for the guys in the shop, I can't imagine what that stretch was like. Having to put all those hours in the shop and then go race on the weekends. So credit to them guys. Off season, I don't know. I got all kind of going on. I'm going to Sunshine's bachelor party in a couple weeks. Sunshine's wedding's coming up. I think
you got 2 more races to do.
I got a race this weekend. I got a race at Thanksgiving weekend. Karsyn, you're going to the wedding?
Yep, I'll be there. I will be there.
You got the golf trip.
Got the golf trip. I'm not going to the golf trip.
You're not?
What?
Nope.
Nope. Doug's damn bachelor party is the week before.
You can't do both.
Pumpkin had invited me on the golf trip, just so you guys know, when I met him at Wilkesboro.
You heard that? No. No women allowed.
Sounds like something Pumpkinhead would do.
It's called the mancation for a reason.
Yeah, whatever.
You heard I'm a pastor now, right?
Yeah. So,
did you make that official?
Ordained?
I got a certificate.
He's marrying Doug.
Oh, I know.
Shut the up.
It's Pastor Tom. I forgot to introduce you as Pastor Tom.
Oh my God, Tommy! If I ever get married, will you officiate?
No, this is going to be one and done, baby.
No, this is going to be a side hustle. We're going to pimp you out to these other weddings.
I heard someone told me if you have that certificate, you can get VIP parking at Yankee Stadium.
It's got to be in New York, but you get VIP. They get a parking lot just for ordained ministers.
Yeah.
It's the Pastor Tom. We did this. It was a very, very intricate process. We did it. We didn't even do it. Somebody else did it, I think, on pit road in Martinsville, waiting to go out for the modified race.
Yeah.
It took all of.
Oh, this was recent then. You just got this complete.
Just
I have no
ordained.
choice. Doug said, "You're marrying us." I'm like, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." I'm like, what am I going to say?
Doug got engaged at Sonoma, whenever that was, the summer. And then right after that, he told Tommy, he's like, "Hey, you're marrying us." And Tommy's like, "Well, I can't." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you're going to take these classes."
You're going to take the class. I'm like, "Oh, really?" Yeah. So we looked it up in about 8 minutes. I had a certificate. Oh, that was good.
Oh, that's not bad. 8 minutes?
That was
They give
pretty
it,
quick.
yeah, and they giving me.
Did you get all the? Did you get?
Not
all,
yet.
did
I
you-
haven't got the material. Maybe I have. I haven't.
Can we frame his ordained minister thing and put it behind him next to his Muppet?
Pastor Tom.
Pastor Tom.
I got the certificate.
That's crazy. No, we need to like print
we
it
should
out.
print it out and then put it up on the wall here. I don't even know. I got trips go. I'm going to Key West with Duggar at some point. I don't know. We
Yeah.
got weddings, bachelor parties. What are you doing?
Working. I don't get to just sit around during the week like you, Fred.
Sorry.
Go on all these vacations.
Sorry,
No,
Here it is.
Wyatt's racing.
Where's the camera?
Where's the camera?
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wyatt's racing the Fall Brawl next weekend. I'm going to Portland for a little like motorsports conference thing for Cars Tour, and then we go PRI, the wedding, and our season starts mid-February this year, so we'll be picking it up a lot sooner.
Thomas,
It's gonna fly by.
Where's the trip this year?
Some island. I can't remember.
That's good.
Yeah.
When is it?
December.
December. I didn't. My invite must have got lost.
Yeah,
in the mail
same.
for that one. I don't know what happened there.
We should take a DBC trip.
We're gonna next year at Key West for the.
Oh, we
for
talked
the
about that.
final
That's right.
show,
Yeah,
'cause I'm
yeah.
not coming back from
No,
Oakstown.
I'm not. Yeah. We got to figure that out right now, producer, because we are not coming back next year.
All right.
I came on for the wrong year. I
Yeah,
should have
well,
done that one.
like, we can make this yearly. You
Yeah.
can do every
Next year
exit
championship show. Meet us in Key West.
Well,
what do you got?
I'll be there the whole week leading up then.
How many? I mean, do you do anything but golf these days? I feel like.
Well, I don't actually.
I know. That's what I'm
golf.
saying. You're
Yeah,
the kids.
it's- Rec golf's a lot. No, we got a lot of golf coming up, and we have had all summer. You got to remember, I've been off since All-Star race, basically, for the most part, other than the truck races I did there. So, yeah, kids be busy with all that stuff and all the other business outside of racing, and Daytona will be here quick.
I just looked Byron.
What?
Is that who you had? Oh no, I had Byron.
No, I had Byron.
Oh, who did I have?
Briscoe.
Oh,
Loser.
That's awesome. So
I was 3 laps short from a championship myself.
Sucks to suck. You got to buy us dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get to that show of Tommy sucking at DBC Picks, what shows did you guys see this weekend, if any?
I think the Tommy Joe fighting his crew chief Joe Williams on pit road has to be right up there with some never even seen before. Like I don't recall many owner crew chief fights on pit road right after the race. Tom, has that happened often?
Sometimes.
The only time
Well,
I remember
for
that,
you, maybe.
the only time I remember that was when Tommy owned and crew chief the car himself.
I fight myself. I fight myself.
That's why he finally always put another crew chief up there, even though he was calling the races. Let me just put somebody
I will
up there.
say the only other time I remember crew chiefs and owners fighting was when I was spotting over there, and it was Tommy was the owner and Bono was the crew chief, and the wars on Channel 2 of just them
Yeah, but
screaming at
if you listen to Bono's radio,
It's not
still,
a lot different.
I have nothing to do with it. Okay.
So I think this has got to be on the list. I think one of the fun.
Yes, that's great.
That was pretty good. Harvick with the dumpster fire going down.
I didn't see
so
that.
I was
Wait, when did he tweet that?
after I think it was
Xfinity
after
race.
the
Xfinity
Xfinity race.
Oh, me too. Me too.
So that was I was gonna say I think the winner is gonna be this just single race championship match. So we
Format.
can use that as the to tweet. Yeah,
Willie B got to meet Sydney Sweeney.
Austin Dillon can be the wingman of the stars
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, how
If he
awesome.
can somehow pull this off.
If that relationship happens, I mean, he's
Yeah.
got to be the best man.
The
right?
best part about this, is Karsyn Hocevar already being up in the middle of it when they get there.
Well, there was a line I think that was trying to, but like I forget. He said something like he told her,
Yeah.
like Taylor and Travis don't got on you guys or
heard
something like that. Just the fact that, like, I can't imagine how mortified Willie is, and then,
Yeah.
like his face matches his hat.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that-
Yeah.
He's like fucker. He's like a fucker.
I think he was more of a Sabrina Carpenter guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I think
Maybe not after
I- I-
yesterday.
Maybe not after that though.
he, there's just knowing William a little bit. There's no way he wanted to do that, but
That's
I'm glad
awesome,
he did. So yeah, Tommy Joe. Austin Dillon, the single race championship format. I don't think there was anything else I saw really. You know, we got some and I want to make sure we clarify this. We called the supercar guy blowing over the curbs a show. Shows aren't always bad. Like this, like
Yeah, it can
the
be some
Austin
good
Dillon
cool.
one. It's good stuff. Like shows and something that you sit back and go, holy you know, like when that guy was blowing over curves 4 wheels over the ground, that was not a bad thing. That was fun. That was something awesome to watch. So let's clarify. Shows aren't always a bad thing, like the Byron Dillon thing there. That's not a bad thing, especially if Paul Willie B can pull through on that. But,
I mean,
I don't know, he may have a girlfriend now, so I shouldn't say
We'll
that.
need an update on that.
Yeah.
All right. You can vote on our show Hall of Fame Twitter poll on Dirty Mo Media's Twitter. DBC Picks kicked y'all's ass once again. I was one behind the guest to finish the year. What did you guys do?
Just
8?
goes to show this is all luck.
You know, it just goes to show that blindly picking and not really thinking too much about it is the way to go.
The guest wins. Congrats to the guest. Regan, you did nothing for that, but congratulations that you're the guest today.
Well,
you get to be here to accept the win on their behalf.
I came in at the right time just to accept the award. So
you're like Larson.
Larson.
You're like Kyle Larson. You just inherited the
You Joey Logano
did. Yeah, we'll plan a dinner. Thanks, Tom.
Lunch.
I appreciate it. Oh, no.
How'd it become dinner now?
It's always been dinner.
It's always
Why are you
dinner.
changing the rules again?
It's always dinner. You, listen.
I'm going to protest because of the rule change during the year.
He just knows the expensive restaurants aren't open for dinner. He's trying to get cheap on this
Exactly.
right now.
He wants to go to Iron Thunder for lunch.
Nope, it's dinner. It's dinner.
We're gonna do the Christmas show and then go from the Christmas show to dinner. So everybody.
When is this Christmas show?
We'll figure it out.
We'll get to that.
I'm not going to be around.
It'll be before you.
What the do you mean you're not going to be around?
It's not going
I
to be.
got to buy dinner. I'm not going to be around.
No matter when it is.
Yeah,
Tommy's
now I'm busy.
I'm out.
I'm sick that day.
So no picks, right?
No
We're done
picks.
with that.
Man, Willie B.
No.
Shout out Kyle Larson.
Shout out Kyle Larson. Shout out Ryan Blaney wins the race. Weekend winners. I mean, I tried to find some. There really wasn't a whole lot of racing going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of shut down. We got some races coming up, but shout out to Blaney wins the race, Larson champion. Jesse Love sweeps both. Shout out to Amarola wins or was it? Armadillo wins the owners championship for the 19 team. I will say shout out to Fidua wins the race. Tyler Mon cup champion. Brandon Benesh, shout out to him. Spotter for Jesse as the Xfinity champion. Tony Hirschman kissed my ass, but shout out to him as well. He's on something every year. I can't stand him. Shout out to him for winning the Xfinity championship. Matt Philpott, spotter for the 19 for most of the year. He'll win the owners championship in Xfinity. So shout out to all those guys. Obviously, spotters near and dear to my heart. It was kind of heartbreaking standing up there next to Lambert yesterday for the end of that race. But anyway, it's just what we got coming up. I know we got to go racing this week, Tom.
Got the North-South
I'm gonna
shootout?
race against your ass this time. I think you finally fired me off the set.
Yeah, but same team.
I know. So I'm going to spot for James Blewett. Luke is driving for Jimmy Blewett in a team car to James. Jack's back this week racing. We gave Jack last week. He got upset with us. So
Yeah.
we're going to say
did?
Jack's still a very good race car driver.
Yeah.
We just love to give him because he gets upset about it. So he makes it easy for us to pick on him. Karsyn, what do you got going on? Anything we got racing wise?
No, car store we're obviously
you said
done.
Wyatt's-
Wyatt's running Fall Brawl at Hickory this Saturday. So that'll be.
You going dirt tracking at all? Or I'm going to go dirt track probably every day this week.
Yeah, I think
assume.
I might go Friday. Are you going to go to Millbridge for the midget race tonight or tomorrow?
Very unlikely. Definitely not tonight. I can promise you tonight. Tonight is completely out of the question.
I walked in today. I'm like, Freddie, I haven't seen you. Oh, that's why I haven't seen you.
We don't drive.
Why? Because
we
you're
don't
just
drive
getting
on Monday.
drunk the rest of the day? Is that what's happening?
This is this is the postseason debrief day.
Yep.
We're gonna debrief. We're gonna have some meetings at some of the local
Watering holes.
establishments. Yeah, we're gonna have lunch and then
Might end up at Ruth Chris.
Megan dropped him off earlier, and I'm looking out there, and I'm like, why is she dropping? Oh boy!
Yeah.
And you could see the look in her face just as she gets out of the vehicle.
She
It'll be
knows what's
fine.
coming.
She knows.
Yeah.
This is like a national holiday. It happens every year.
So what kind of
Listen,
people are
usually
you?
the last couple of years we've left the show very intoxicated and had to get Uber to lunch. We've done it pretty good today. We will have a toast before we leave, but yeah. So Regan, what do you got going on this weekend? I know you're coming to lunch, by the way, but what do you got going on?
Yeah, I was supposed to work the rest of the day too, and apparently I'm going to lunch.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have
mean,
to-
you could work a little bit. I mean, I just
Got your phone.
I get more.
You got your phone.
Might get more creative. You know?
Yeah,
That's
Sometimes
usually-
it helps.
That's usually what happens.
I'm a
yeah.
lot nicer when people call me if they need something work related. I'm a lot nicer if they catch me on a Saturday.
I did want to mention two things. Well, we talked about Red a minute, but TV deal. it seems like you're having a blast doing it. I mean, is that something you're going to continue to do or hope to continue to do at least?
Yeah, I mean, it's, listen, I've been fortunate. Fox has been so good to me and let me do so many cool things and to see the sport from a different light and to see it with a different set of glasses on has been awesome. I still miss the competition aspect. Like that's the one thing about TV that, I miss the in the moment competition, no matter what it is, whether it's driving or other aspects of the sport. I love that. So, but yeah, TV deal, we'll start getting ready. We've already started getting ready for Daytona. I hate saying that as I'm sitting here and you guys are fresh off of red-eye flights home, so I was trying not to bring that up, but there's already stuff happening.
100 days or something like that away. I forget. Larry Mack's going to tweet something stupid, piss me off about it.
Well, he's got all that automatic in his phone, right?
Yeah.
All the birthdays, and it acts like he cares, right? Because at least he puts it in his phone to just send you a happy birthday. But I laugh because he's one of the first ones who wishes you happy birthday.
I just think it's way too soon to tell you guys. It's
appreciate that.
How quick it is to
call me
Daytona.
tomorrow when I'm hungover.
Or I can just do this right here, Freddie, and I won't say it, but there you go.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, so we're getting ready for that. I got a lot of stuff coming up here in terms of kids golf tournaments, stuff like that. Our family builds stuff also, so we got buildings going.
You can say that.
And
Are you glad Rhett's golfing and not racing?
I don't care one way or the other. And I can say that with 100% honesty, right? So I got Rhett, who's 10, Eliza, who's 9, and Rye, who's 3, the baby of the group there. And Rhett he asks about it. He loves watching it.
But he's never
analytical about it. Like, he understands it. He's always liked golf.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to try and change who he is and make him do that. Now, what terrifies me is golf's pretty expensive too, like in terms of a kid sport. And
it is not even close to racing.
I'm not saying it's close. I'm saying it's pretty expensive. And I certainly won't compare notes because I know where that goes. But Rye, our youngest, is, and Tommy knows my dad pretty well. He's a lot more like my dad and myself, and he's actually got more of my dad in him than I think anything else. And he is high strung. He is adrenaline. Like the other ones, they'd be standing on the couch and be like, "No, sit down." At that age, and they'd sit right down. Rye looks at you, and he jumps off and cannonballs off the damn thing, and he's like, "Yep," giving you the middle finger as he's doing it, just about. So he's the one that if there was a racer in the family still, he's the one that would probably drag me back into heaven.
Get ready. Oh, Jesus.
Well, we got to do an end of the year cheer.
Why'd you get Bud Light?
That's the only six-pack they had. I don't even like bottles.
That's
and it's the only six-pack they had in the gas station.
We could have Dixoned it. You didn't get Reds?
They didn't have them. They didn't even have Reds. We need 2 more. Where's Alex? And Alex, get your ass out here.
Help me.
Evan, put some camera on that works for everybody. You get your ass out here too.
I said the same thing to him when he walked in. I'm like, "Come on, really?
I hate
like what?
It's gross.
I love Bill Light.
Is there a beer that you don't love?"
Yeah, a hot one.
He don't drink IPAs.
I don't know where you guys got to go to get on camera. But listen, again, thank you guys for listening this year. We changed up. Thank you guys for sticking with me here and doing this every damn week. We didn't miss one, I don't think. Or maybe Karsyn missed one. Tommy missed one.
I missed
Alex,
2, yeah.
Evan, Dalton. Poor, what's his name in the back there? I have no idea. What's his face? I put him through hell reading those tweet replies. But thank you guys for listening this year. Here's another great season. We will be back next year. I can promise you that. We're going to have fun doing it. So thanks for listening. We'll be back.